Hey, welcome to another episode of Bible Study. Jesus is alive, most definitely. And welcome to Black and Red Bible Study. Black and Red Bible Study. How do you get Black and Red Bible Study, sir? Well, I'll show you. There's black and there's red right here. Black and Red Bible Study. Thank you for tuning in for that. I'd like to speak today about Daniel. Then you'll know the story once I began. And there's a lot of people out there right now. Let's go ahead and get on with the story, okay? In Daniel chapter 6, we'll begin to read, okay? It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom in 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom. Can you read it? Can you see it? And over these three presidents, of whom Daniel was first, that the princes might give accounts unto them, and the king should have no damage. Then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents and princes because of an excellent spirit was in him. And the king thought to set him over the whole realm. Then the presidents and princes sought to find occasions against Daniel concerning the kingdom, that they could find none occasions not fought, for as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him. Let's go ahead and continue to read. Sorry about the camera. It's going to get good. Then said these men, we shall not find any occasions against this Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of his God. Then these presidents and princes assembled together to the king, and said thus unto him, King Darius, live forever. Then the presidents of the kingdom, and the governors, and the princes, and the counselors, and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute, and to make a firm decree that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god nor man for 30 days, save of thee, O king, he shall be cast into the den of lions. These jokers was trying to set Daniel up because they knew that he prayed 3 times a day to God. And they knew that. And they were so jealous of him because of what was going on, what King Darius was going to do, because he liked his spirit. These people are so jealous, they're going to try to set Daniel up. And there's people like that today. There are people like that today, at your job site, your co-workers, or anything. If you have a good attitude and there's a possibility that you're going to get promoted, and the managers and bosses, supervisors like you, the other team members is going to get jealous of you, and they're going to try to set you up. Man, that is life right here, and it still happens today. So they all gathered, the governors and the princes and the counselors and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute, and to make a firm decree that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or a man for 30 days, save over thee, O king, he shall be cast into the den of lions. See, they're trying to set Daniel up big time. Now king established the decree and signed the writing, that it be not changed according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which alter not. Move on down. Wherefore King Darius signed the writing and the decree. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, can you see it? Let me move this down a little bit, sorry. And Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his window being open in the chamber towards Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God as he did over time. It did not stop Daniel at all. He did not, it did not stop him or keep him from still praying 3 times a day to his God. So I'm letting you know right now, there should be nothing interfere with you praying to the Lord God Almighty. Nothing. There's a lot of people jealous of you. And if you're listening to the sound of my voice right now, and you know that they're jealous of you, they're going to find any way they can to keep you from serving the Lord. That's just the way it is. And these people that were jealous, and they knew that David prayed 3 times a day, and they were trying their best to get him killed and stopped. They were jealous. So they had to try to find a way to pay him back. But did that keep David from kneeling his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God as he did over time? Did that keep him? Did that stop him from doing that? No, it didn't. David didn't care what was signed. He knew what was going to happen. And these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God. They knew he was going to pray. They knew what he was doing. Then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree that every man that shall ask a petition of any god or man within 30 days, save of thee, O king, shall be cast into the dens of lions? And the king answered and said, the thing is true. That's right. I did sign it right here. According to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which alter not. Then they answered and they said, well, before the king, they answered him, that Daniel, which is of the children of captivity of Judah, regardeth not thee, O king, nor the decree, right here, nor the decree that thou hast signed and make this his petition 3 times a day. Then the king, when he heard these words, was sore, displeased with himself, and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him. And he labored till the going down of the sun to deliver him. Then these men assembled unto the king and said unto the king, know, O king, that the law of the Medes and the Persians is that no decree nor statute which the king established may be changed. See, they knew. They were putting him in a hard place. They knew what they were going to do. They was trying to find a way to get back at David. Then the king commanded that they brought Daniel, and cast him into the den of lions. See, they were setting Daniel. They knew what they were trying to do to Daniel. They didn't want to destroy him. Then the king commanded that they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of lions. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, thy God, whom thou servest continually, he will deliver you. The king had faith in Daniel's God. And he knew that Daniel prayed 3 times a day. And he knew that Daniel was faithful to God. And now the king is, oh, Daniel, may your God save you. And a stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet. And when the signet of his lords, that the purpose might not be changed concerning Daniel. Then the king went to his palace and passed the night fasting. Neither was instruments of the music brought before him, and his sleep went from him. Excuse me. The king arose very early in the morning and went to the haste of the den of lions. And when he came to the den, he cried with an audible voice unto Daniel. And the king spake and said to Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living God, is thy God, whom thou servest continually, able to deliver thee from the lions? Then said Daniel unto the king, O king, live forever. My God has sent his angels, and has shut the lions' mouths, that they have not hurt me. I want to tell you something today, church, or whoever's listening to this message. There is a God who is able to shut the enemy's mouth. Anyone who's out there trying to hurt you and bring you down, God is able to shut their mouths and shut their faces. He is able to shut the mouths of the enemy. And if you're hearing the sound of my voice, the same thing that happened to Daniel can happen to you, because we serve a big God who can shut the enemy's mouth. God can shut the enemy's mouth. Exactly. He sent angels down to shut the lion's mouth, and God can send angels down to shut your enemy's mouths. The devil is a liar. There's people out there right now trying to destroy your name, trying to destroy you and your family. Sorry about the camera. But they're out there. And I'm wanting to give you this message about Daniel, how God delivered him. He was able to deliver thee from the lions. Then said Daniel unto the king, O kings, live forever. And my God has sent his angels, has shut the lions' mouths, and they have not hurt me. For so much as before him innocency was found in me, and also before thee, O king, have I done no hurt. Then later on, the king commanded that the people, whoever tried to destroy Daniel, he was ordered for them and their family and their children, mom and dad, whoever, thrown in the lion's den, the same lion's den. Those who were trying to accuse Daniel was thrown in the same lion's den, wives and children, and they killed. The lions killed them, killed their families. Right here in verse 24. And the king commanded, and they brought those men which had accused Daniel, and they cast them into the den of lions, their children and their wives. And the lions had the mastery of them, and break all their bones in pieces, and every day came at the bottom of the pit. I'm going to let you know today that God is your protection. You're innocent if you're listening to this program right now, this message about Daniel in the lion's den. It didn't matter to Daniel what decree was signed or anything. He still continued to pray. He still continued to pray to God 3 times a day. I'm letting you know, whoever's listening to this Bible study, thank you for tuning in to the Black and Red Bible study. But I'm letting you know that there's enemies out there right now that's trying to destroy you. There's enemies right now that's trying to destroy your name. If you're a preacher, you're an innocent preacher, you're a faithful preacher, there's enemies out there that's trying to destroy you. If you're a pastor, there's enemies out there that's trying to destroy you. There's saints that's in your church that's trying to destroy you behind your back. And I'm telling you, stay faithful to God. Stay faithful. Stay committed. Still commit to yourself to pray every day. Stay committed. You know, he said the duty of a man is to fear him and keep his commandments. That means to love him and keep his commandments. There's dogs out there trying to destroy your ministry right now. And you know who I'm talking about. And this message is for you. Jesus has shut the lions' mouths, and he can shut your enemies' mouths. And my friends, it will backfire on them sure as the world that you're listening to this program right now. Jesus is able to shut their mouths. And I pray against those people, those dogs, there's jealousy. There's jealousy in the churches. Everybody wants to hold some kind of a title that's in the church. They're waiting for the pastor to die for they can be next in line to become a pastor. Instead of going out to the highways and byways and beginning churches, starting new churches, and trying to spread the word of God around the communities. There's more to do and besides waiting for a spot in the church so you can take it, or a position. There's more churches that needs to be built outside the walls of your church. And if you're holding license, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Speak to your pastor. Go out and start new churches. Pray about it. Don't worry what the enemy's saying to you in your mind that you can't do it. You can do it. And God is able to send his angels down to shut those enemies' mouth. And he's able to do it. We need to learn how to depend on God more. He's able to do it, friends. He shut the lions' mouths in the den. And if you ever seen that picture of Daniel in the lion's den, was Daniel looking at the lions? No, he wasn't looking at the lions. He had his eyes upon heaven, speaking to the wonderful majesty, the King of kings and Lord of lords, Jesus Christ. His eyes were set on the Lord. It wasn't set on the lions. And I'm asking you right now, people, don't you give up. Don't you listen to your enemy. They try and destroy you right now. And I pray that God keeps their mouths shut so you can do what you need to do. And they're going to keep coming after you. They will. But he's able and exceedingly abundantly to do anything. God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. In Jesus' name.